Hi dear friends and subscribers, welcome to the Cricket Happening Show today. And on this Cricket Happening Show we are into the last delivery which is coming up here. We are talking about the second one-day international which is being played between Sri Lanka and New Zealand at Hambantota. And as expected, rain definitely came into the picture, and now it's a revised target for New Zealand. In fact, only 23 overs have been allowed, and as I'm speaking, we are seeing the last ball being bowled of the 23rd over. Sri Lanka are 137 for 1. Kumar Sangakkara is not out on 70 of 58 balls with 9 fours. Dilshan is not out 55 of 72 balls with 9 fours, and we are seeing the last delivery coming up of the 23rd over, which will bring an end to the innings of Sri Lanka. Because of rain, the match has been reduced to 23 overs a side game, and we are still waiting for the last ball to be delivered from Andrew Ellis. Andrew Ellis is having the is going to bowl the last delivery, and facing him would be Kumar Sangakkara on 71. There is in comes Ellis, bowls to Sangakkara, and that's the end of the 23rd over. Sangakkara just manages to get 1 run, and Sri Lanka finish at 138 for 1 after 23 overs. So it's a 23 over a side game. Sri Lanka were the ones who actually won the toss here in the second one-day international at Hambantota, and there was a break. They were 117 for 1 when the rain gods intervened, and then because of the rain there was a huge delay. There was a big break, and then finally the rain relented. The dryer was brought out into the pitch. The pitch was dried. The outfield was dried, and the umpires decided that 23 overs a side game would be possible. And as I said, as I started my Cricket Happening Show today, I wanted to first talk about that, as the innings was just coming to an end, and finally the innings has come to an end. And this is, as you know, always when the rain comes in international cricket, we have the Duckworth Lewis coming into the picture. Yes, the Duckworth Lewis is here, and that is going to make the task all the more difficult for New Zealand, I reckon, because Sri Lanka have finished with 138 for 1 after 23 overs, and the revised target as per the Duckworth Lewis method for New Zealand is they have to score not 139. Remember, it's going to be the Duckworth Lewis method. So the Duckworth Lewis method has its own way of mathematical calculations, and so the revised target for New Zealand to actually win the match here is a very, very, very big score. They have to score 198 runs in 23 overs, and that is going to be a stiff task. So Sri Lanka would probably fancy themselves, but unless and until if the rain, there's no further interruption of rain, then this is the target that New Zealand have been given. So New Zealand they have to make 198 runs in 23 overs by the Duckworth Lewis method to actually win the match, the second one-day international against Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka earlier made 138 for 1. Now just let's look at what happened. Sri Lanka were the ones who actually won the toss. They decided to bat first, and they lost Dimut Karnaratne pretty early, as he was caught by Nisham of the bowling of Mills, the New Zealand cricket captain. He was gone for 4, and after that it was Dilshan and Sangakkara once again required to actually really steady things for Sri Lanka. Not only did they steady, but they went into another useful partnership. In fact, it was an unbroken partnership of 126 runs, which took the Sri Lankan score to 138. Dilshan's contribution, an unbeaten 55 of 72 balls with 9 fours. We definitely saw some very aggressive shots coming from Dilshan today. Sangakkara, usually his merry self, was unbeaten on 71 of 59 balls with 9 fours. The bowling, Kyle Mills 5 overs, 2 men, 1 for 16. Adam Milne 3 overs was costly for 20. Nisham bowled 3 overs, which went for 25. Nathan McCullum 4 overs, none for 23. Dave Sitch the other day who bowled well, also got some tap, 5 overs, none for 31. Rob Nicol 2 overs, no maiden, none for 12. And Andrew Ellis 1 over, no maiden, none for 8. Well, as I said, we are talking about the second one-day international which is being played between Sri Lanka and New Zealand at Hambantota. Yesterday I definitely told you that it doesn't really augur well when, you know. Okay, let me also tell you the playing conditions. Now, as far as the target of 198 is concerned, in 23 overs for New Zealand to win the match, the playing conditions say that there are 3 bowlers who can bowl a maximum of 5 overs. There will be 5 mandatory power play overs, and you will have 2 overs of batting power play. So there's 2 overs of batting power play. That is something which would probably be something, there is something that New Zealand would be really happy about, and that would be 2 overs. Oh, well, sorry, I'm extremely sorry about it. In fact, New Zealand would be all the more stressed out, because instead of having 5 overs of batting power play, they would have just 2 overs of batting power play. So just feel for New Zealand there. But as I said, once the Duckworth Lewis comes into the picture, it's all over. It's absolutely a real mathematical calculation which is done in international cricket, in one-day internationals, and that's what precisely is the case. So, well, I'm going to leave you from here, dear fans, friends, subscribers from Hambantota. And one thing, as I said yesterday, I was telling you that Hambantota, they have to really look at the scheduling, because when there is rain, as you know, Hambantota is a place where rain is something which is pretty common, and scheduling 2 one-day international matches on the same ground is something that the Sri Lankan think tank, the cricket management, has to really look at very seriously. Anyways, let's turn away from here now and head towards the Ashes. Not that the Ashes have started. As you know, England are here, they're playing some warm-up matches. There are only 1 or 2 matches already gone. But now what we are talking about is, we are talking about the team's composition, in the sense the Australian team has been announced for the first test match which is going to be played between Australia and England in the Ashes. It's going to be played at the Gabba in Brisbane on 21st of November. So the team that has been announced has some, what is very important is that the 12-man squad has been announced to play against England at the Gabba in Brisbane. And the team, well, one thing that, as you know, George Bailey was the captain of the very, very fiercely contested India-Australia one-day series which happened in India. There were 7 one-day internationals, and it all went down to the wire, and finally it was a 3-2 verdict for India. So it was pretty close, as you know, and it was one of the most fiercely contested one-day international cricket series between India and Australia in recent memory. Now, George Bailey, as you know, he was the captain of the Australian team. He not only was the captain, leading it in a very, very intelligent manner, but also what was very important is that he led them in such a manner that it was a real treat to watch, because what he did, he motivated the boys very well. And not only that, what was very important, the captain himself was leading from the front with some great knocks. In fact, he went to the top of the one-day rankings, I suppose, in the sense he played absolutely superbly with the bat. He scored 2 centuries, I suppose, and he was the one who was always there. Not 2 centuries, one was a century and one was probably came close to 90 and was out on 98 if I'm not wrong. And George Bailey absolutely led by example as the Australian captain, well, he led with the bat, and the way he batted, he scored tons of runs in that one-day series, and what it showed everybody is that George Bailey not only can play a waiting game, but can also attack as the time goes on, and that's what precisely George Bailey did. Now, what that has done, I'm very, very happy for George Bailey. This is something which I had already said in one of my Cricket Happening show, that George Bailey will definitely be meriting a place in the Australian Test team, and I'm not at all surprised that George Bailey finds a place for himself in the Australian squad that has been named to play England in the first Test match at the Gabba in Brisbane. And that's a great selection according to me, because Bailey would definitely strengthen the middle order, and as you know, he's not only a person who can play a waiting game, he can also attack. So, but that is not something that something comes later. But what is very important is that we need someone in Test cricket to actually stay at the wicket, and George Bailey, according to me, is a wonderful choice. So, really, I would wish good luck to George Bailey to cement his place in the Test team as well. Well, looking at the Australian squad that has been selected, all the players almost select themselves there. Chris Rogers, you know, the time he played against England, he did pretty well. So he would be once having David Warner as his partner. Shane Watson coming back from a bit of an injury. Michael Clarke, well, as you know, he missed the one-day international series, and that was a big thing for Australia, because even though Michael Clarke was not there, I thought Australia did pretty well against India in the one-day international series. So Michael Clarke, the captain, comes on. So that is going to absolutely strengthen the team to a great extent. We all know that Michael Clarke, what a wonderful captain he is. Then we have Steve Smith. Steve Smith, who did well against England, he's he's an all-rounder. He also picked up a century, if I'm not wrong, against England in England. And then George Bailey, we have already talked about him. Brad Haddin would be the wicket-keeper and the vice-captain of the team. The bowling, well, the bowling will be in the hands of Mitchell Johnson. Now, Mitchell Johnson, let me tell you, he's in some great form now. He has already started hitting his straps, and he's getting the ball to swing. He's getting the ball to swing at good pace. He's getting all those deliveries, in the sense he's getting all those weapons in his armory right now. Everything is coming very well for him. And Mitchell Johnson, according to me, would be the prime strike bowler for Australia. He would be partnered with real, fire and brimstone pace bowler Peter Siddle, who always like to give it 100%. And then they would have the services of Ryan Harris, who is a very deceptive type of bowler. He could really surprise you with the pace, even though one probably feels that he looks a bit innocuous. But he could really surprise you, and he did pretty well against England, as you all know. And then Mitchell Johnson, and then we have James Faulkner. Now, James Faulkner, you would remember in the last final one-day international against India, he really showed what a wonderful all-rounder he can be, and what a useful cog in the wheel he can be for Australia by scoring a limited over century against India, his maiden century. Now, that is something. Not only that, his bowling is also something which would really suit the Australians pretty well. And so James Faulkner, whether he would be played, and I have a feeling he would be played. Now, Nathan Lyon, the right arm off spinner, what is he going to do? Whether he is going to get a chance, or whether Australia would probably fancy that they have Steve Smith in the lineup. So Steve Smith is the one who can bowl some very good right arm off spin. So whether one probably has a feeling that in Gabba in Brisbane, Nathan Lyon would be the person to miss out from the 11-man squad. The 12-man squad which has been selected. So Nathan Lyon probably might be missing out. Now, in the meanwhile, one more news. Now, we are talking about the India-Australia series. We all know what significance the final test match, as you know, we are calling it the Sachin Tendulkar series. At least I'm calling it on my Cricket Happening show, the Sachin Tendulkar series, for the simple reason that Sachin Tendulkar is going to be playing his 200th test match in front of his home fans at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. And what a way to say goodbye to international cricket. Sachin Tendulkar would be hanging up his boots, and that is a match which is of great significance. So that is going to be played at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai. And also one more thing that I would like to tell you, dear friends and subscribers, that Sachin Tendulkar has just had one test century at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai, which has been his home ground, which is pretty sad, and one only hopes that Sachin Tendulkar on the Sachin Tendulkar series goes off in greater glory when he retires by hitting a century at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai to just up his record at his home turf. And also, one more significance for this test match at the Wankhede Stadium in Mumbai would be for West Indies, when Sivanarayan Chandrapal would be walking into the Wankhede Stadium pitch to play his 150th test match, and that would also be a great feeling for Sivanarayan Chandrapal, because he would be the person who would have played the maximum number of test matches for the West Indies. So what a record. So we have two stalwarts, one at either end, trying to gain a great significance, but we all know that Sachin Tendulkar would be the one who would be of greater significance, for the reason that this phenomenal cricketer from India would be saying sayonara to international cricket. Well, so the reason that I'm talking about this particular game is for the simple reason that the Indian squad has been selected to play West Indies in the second test match, and there is no place now for Vinay Kumar and Ishan Sharma. Both have been dropped for this particular test match, and in comes Mohit Sharma from Haryana. As you know, he has been a very good bowler, as you know. But what is more important is that there is a call-up, a maiden call-up for Dhawal Kulkarni, the pace bowler, who is he's from the local land. He's a Mumbai pace boy, and he has been given an opportunity. The Mumbai pace bowler Dhawal Kulkarni gets an opportunity into the Indian squad. And then other players, we all know that they all played in the previous test match, so there's nothing to really talk about. So Dhawal Kulkarni comes into the mix for India, considering that this is the home ground of Dhawal Kulkarni. Whether he will play, that is something that the selectors will be pondering upon. But well, in the meanwhile, I'm just going to take you down to the match against New Zealand and Sri Lanka. As I said, New Zealand have been given a revised target of 198 runs to actually win the match. They have already scored 7 runs of the first over that was bowled by Malinga. Tom Latham was the man who actually got a ball which was a very fortuitous shot from Latham when it actually flew past the slips into the boundary. So right now New Zealand are 7 for no loss. We are in the second over is just about to start. Anton Devsic is 1 not out. Tom Latham is not out of 6 of 3 balls with 1-4, and I think Kulashekara is going to be bowling from the other end. Well, so right now I'm not going to really get into anything. I'm going to end up my cricket show for today. Thanks for your company as always, and as I always said, if at all you want to post any comments and you feel that YouTube after making those new changes, we all know there's a lot of talk going on as far as the YouTube new comments are concerned. If at all you want to connect to me, the only way that you could actually pass on your comment or give your opinion, if at all you're struggling to actually put your comments on YouTube, as you know, you need to have a Google Plus profile. Well, if you are unable to do that, then the best bet for you, as I've already told you, my loyal and dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings, all my 169 dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings, the only way to reach me and show in your comments would be to send me a direct email onto my email address that you would be finding on YouTube, rsmoney41@hotmail.com. Well, dear fans and subscribers, on this note, your host Ram is taking leave on this Cricket Happening show, but I'll be back with my regular Cricket Happening show tomorrow. Until then, it's goodbye from your host Ram. Thank you.